Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. We talking.
Hey, it's Matthew Harvey here with the 12 o'clock siren. Sitting in the 3 o'clock spot on my left at the 6 is James Hartley.
Hey everybody, glad to be back. And at my left spot, the 9 o'clock spot is Jason Fuller.
Yeah, we decided this is a 9 o'clocker.
I'm doing a lot of math.
Who else we got?
It is a lot of numbers going along here.
So we'll get it right one day.
We got somebody in the 12 o'clock spot.
Who do we got?
Mr. Michael Daugherty from the 2000 graduating class of Leonard, Texas. Fellow classmate of mine. Hello and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got some applause there. That's very nice. You weren't even mic'd up and you got some applause.
Yeah.
Are you there, Mike?
Now you're on.
Thanks for having me.
There we are. All right, he's
is.
back. I'm gonna miss that. It's gonna happen again. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I want to tell you, Mike's got his guitar up here, and Mike and I started playing guitar about the same time. But we are different humans now. We're barely even the same thing. At some point, our paths diverged, and he became the virtuoso that we see today.
Don't put that on me.
That voodoo.
Michael is too modest. He's
You both
a really talented musician, talented artist too.
He was tuning up, and I almost walked out.
Yeah.
You both started playing at the same time?
Right, yeah, around the same time. Probably the same songs, right? Metallica. A lot of Metallica.
Yep.
I remember Metallica was the hot hit of the guitar players. I'm not a guitar player,
Man.
but
Yes.
I'm
It's a
actually
good place
going
to start.
home after this to throw my guitar in the trash. after listening to Michael.
I'm going to
tune
continue
up.
not buying guitars
Or
to play.
maybe learn Master of Puppets. Who knows?
Okay, so this is a cool one. This is our first musical guest. We had Jim. Jim's
Jim.
a great musician, but Jim
That was
wasn't.
not.
He wasn't here to talk
He
music.
was
and,
art now. He's moved on to the
Yeah,
graphic
that seems
art
to be
and
his
physical
main
art.
focus for the moment. But Michael is Michael's been playing music for a long time, and he's decided to do like a solo project, right?
That's right.
Tell us some about it.
What kind of music are we talking here?
I've just started a country album, and
Sorry, we
Somebody
just had
somebody
picking up
just
our
got the
koozie.
coaster or the coaster and koozie actually
Yeah.
from the window
man.
All right.
on the front of our building here. So that's kind of cool. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
Just-
no.
We
Okay,
just
so
noticed
you've
this.
got
cool,
a
I just kind of want to sit back and listen. You guys are cool, man.
so
Oh,
you've
thanks.
got a Texas country out. Now tell us for just a second, what does this Texas country mean to those that may not know? Kind of a big umbrella, right?
I don't know. There's so many different varieties of music that fall under that, like you said, umbrella. To me, I don't know. It's just. I don't know.
Because I've listened to you play for a long time, and you may have started with Metallica, but you have a
Yeah.
bluesy soul.
Yeah. It kind of went in that direction. I grew up listening to my mama's music, and she was always country, and
Conway Twitty and
Yeah,
Merle
and-
Haggard and stuff like that.
and then there was always Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Right.
and that was probably my first big influence, other than Metallica or
Sure.
So
something like that.
So you owe a lot of your taste to your mother.
Yes,
Your taste in music.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I get my musical taste from my parents, and
Sure.
it's diverse
Yeah,
all over the map.
yeah. And then it just moved forward from that, just friends and just listening to different genres of music, and here we are.
Cool, man.
What inspires you to write the songs? What are you writing? What are you writing about? Which content? What's
Oh God,
It's a loaded question. I know.
it's a loaded question, and it's for me. It's always life and what's happening in the moment. Because I don't know. I think Brandon Jenkins said it one time that while you're happy, no good songs are being written.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Sure.
R.I.P. Right?
Yeah, rest in peace,
Yeah,
Brandon
he- yeah.
Jenkins.
Yep.
Yeah, he passed away a couple
He was a
years
good
ago.
one.
He was an awesome Texas artist,
Yeah.
an awesome writer.
Yeah.
I think Stoney probably played most of his songs and made them famous. But
Yeah, Brandon Jenkins was an interesting cat because it was a three-piece band,
right.
and early on, I think when they first started gigging, his lead guitarist couldn't make it to one of the gigs, so he just decided to do it and kind of stuck to it. And so he's lead singer and lead guitarist, which is kind of
Interesting.
it's not hard for Michael, but it
Saw
seems
him on
hard
the
for the
day
rest of us.
stage at the
Yeah,
Fort
right.
Worth Stockyards when I worked for the
Oh, sweet.
the Wolf back
Yeah.
then.
I like that.
That was
guy.
good.
I liked him a
Yeah,
lot.
I was like, I stopped in my tracks to listen to him because I'd not heard him before that. And
Sure.
he came out and he said, "I'm Brandon, Jenkins.
He
And I
has
was
a
like,
presence, yeah.
he had my attention from the beginning. I was like, this is not a guy to be messed with.
Right.
Musically and physically, he's massive, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
You know, talking about what Texas country means to you, I think for me, and probably a lot of people feel this way, I feel like Texas country is anything that doesn't suck. Like Nashville,
I think
manufactured.
rule number one
you know.
is it's not pop country. It's not
Yeah.
Nashville banjos and rap beats, and
it's
all
not
that.
relegated to necessarily Texas. Like I would, explaining to somebody like Tyler Childers, I would even call him Texas country to maybe the uninitiated.
Yeah. For me, it covers a really, really broad spectrum of anything that's not pop. Really, I mean, you got rock and you got blues and you got Western swing and just a lot of stuff.
Anything that's raw, man. Raw emotion is Texas music.
Yeah, it's
Unfiltered.
soulful music, and Michael's pretty soulful too. And so, tell us where you started. Have you had a?
Oh man, I think you know what did it. You guys probably remember this. This is what did it, and I can't remember if I had a guitar yet or not. But my mom, she married my stepdad, JR, and he was a musician and he played. So once that happened,
that ovation.
he still has that ovation.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's still kicking, man.
Yeah.
And but once he came into the picture, I obviously wanted to. I'm like, I want to do that. It's really cool. But what pushed it over the top was during school. I don't know if it was we were going on holiday or something, and we were going to have this kind of like a pep rally or something in the gym. And Wes, and
Hayden?
Dan,
Yeah.
and Anthony,
Played Inner Sandman.
Played.
and they played like a bunch of Metallica songs
in the gym.
and that was it for me. Yeah,
That was kind
it.
of what did it for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then me and James started getting together and trying to build like a Ouija board. Like remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
We're trying to be like Kirk Hammett, and
I had a moment of clarity not too long ago. I thought about calling you. We sat down when you lived down in Bailey, not too far from me. We sat down one time. We were playing the middle part of Master of Puppets, and you were going to go into the lead, and I couldn't quite keep up. And everybody looked at me like, "Look at this jackwagon," and I was so embarrassed. And then years later, I realized they play double lead there. I shouldn't have even been playing what I was playing, and I was embarrassed as a 30-year-old man.
I feel like
I need to call Mike.
Maybe real quick we should explain to our listeners who may not know that all of us went to school with Michael.
Yes.
Matthew and
Within
Michael were
2
actually in the
years?
same class.
when I was there.
Yeah. Right.
We played ball together.
When we attended class, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Michael. If we talk like we're good friends with Michael's, because we are.
I've been for a while. So sorry. Oh, go ahead.
So
Matthew.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Matthew,
we had
sorry.
3 so's there. I'm going to let you go there, Jason.
Oh, okay. So tell us how you got to where you are now with the country stuff, because I know, like you said, you started Metallica, that type of stuff. You went through a blues phase where you actually had a blues band.
We did. We had a blues band called 3 Speed, and it was 3 of us, and we primarily played Texas blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix and those kind of things, and we had some originals, and it was kind of like a party band. We got pretty wild and
in your younger days.
Early 20s and mid 20s, and
But that's not what you're after this time around. You
Definitely
have some
not.
songs that been on your mind and you want to get them out.
sure, yeah. There's especially recently been a lot of songs coming to me just out of the blue, and I've been writing them down.
Yeah,
Been writing them
that's
down.
the key, right?
Yeah, and nothing bad.
So-
We were talking a while ago. Nothing bad's happened, so I'm not like writing out a depression or anything
Sure.
like that. But just and some old songs that were written 10 or 12 years ago about me and some of my friends that are really good songwriters. Ricky and James McAdams, they're really good, and man, they have some really awesome songs. And I'm gonna probably put a song or 2 of theirs on the album.
Cool.
But anyway.
How many songs are you doing on this album?
I don't know, maybe 10 or 12.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm gonna try to release this single, Blackheart, and then follow it up with an LP with maybe 3 or 4 songs or something like that, and then just keep momentum going, and with all of those same songs, do a full album.
Do you have a deadline when you're trying to get this album done, or you want it to come out perfect so time isn't really a factor?
Yeah, I do want to try to make it as perfect as possible, but
Just get it what it sounds like in your head.
For some reason, I guess, sitting on it for so long, like this Blackheart, it went together so smooth. It was like there was like hardly any double takes. It was
walk us through us guys that pick up a guitar, or what is the songwriting process like for you? Does it come in just you hear a note in your head, you put words with that? Do you get the words first and put music with that? How's that?
I used to write based off of a riff that I came up with, and I used to hear about all the other guys. All the other songwriters, they would just have lyrics come to them.
You're a guitar guy.
But I'm a guitar guy. I've probably been playing 25 years or something like that, and I've probably been singing for 10 or 12 years or something like that, so half the time. But
at heart, you are a guitar guy.
Yeah.
You've got a great voice. You let us hear one of your songs
Thanks,
earlier,
appreciate
and y'all should stick around for the song we do play here.
Yeah.
We're going to play you guys some
We got some
music,
live we got some live music coming
up
up from Michael, and also some recorded music that you're going to play, I think.
We have the one song that we finished, Blackheart, and it turned out really well. I'm happy with it, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. And
where are you recording your stuff? What studio?
I'm recording at the Sonic Solution in Sherman, Texas, with Sean Fussell. I don't know if you remember Sean, but he was
Tulia, Texas.
Yeah,
I
he was
that.
Pretty. He was a well-known household name around Texas.
Sean's
music.
running a studio now.
He runs a studio.
So he's been a big help. I'm guessing with your first single.
And
That's
I did do we did a Christian rock album, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago or something like that, with the You Stand Tall band, and that was pretty cool too. And I did it there as well. So in that, Sean and I got to really know each other, and we become pretty good friends. So it's pretty neat to be able to just walk in and be like, "What do you think about this?" Or just throw some out, just bounce some ideas back and forth between one another, and it's pretty neat to be able to have that guy.
Is
very cool.
Quiet Escape Studio still a thing? Denison, right?
I don't know. I've heard the name recently, but I really don't know. I don't.
That was back in my high school days, and right after when Jim and I were playing together, there was a Quiet Escape there.
You mentioned you play in the church.
I do. I'm the music leader at Kings Trail Cowboy Church, and it's awesome, man. It's really cool. Yeah. We have a big band over there, and we do a lot of things that aren't typical probably of Cowboy Church. Everyone hears the name Cowboy Church and they think country music and whatever, and we do some country music and bluegrass and things like that, but when it comes right down to it, man, we praise Jesus.
Sure.
And I'm not ashamed to say that. And cool. And it's awesome if you guys ever get a chance, come join us.
Absolutely.
Sundays.
That's not White, right?
8, 10:30. 8 and 10:30 on Sunday, and then we have a 7:00 service on Wednesday.
Very cool.
And I think this Wednesday is going to be the first Wednesday of the month, which we have food and fellowship.
Well, that gets people there.
Oh, you're speaking my language.
Are you guys
all you people out there, if you want to come get some free food, and listen to some a good word, you'll get fed spiritually and
all days wired up as far as music goes.
Yes. What? Yeah. Hang on.
You're playing Wednesday nights.
Yeah, you can hear you guys play at
we
church.
have full band Wednesdays and also Sundays, 2 services Sunday. We don't have an evening service. I think they might do a Bible study Sunday nights.
Gotcha.
So there's
cool.
something every day there, man. It's an awesome church.
And
Jason and Dwayne are awesome, and everybody there is just full of love, and it's a really cool place.
It's cool. And you've been involved with the church band for how long now? Long time.
Maybe 4 or 5 years or something like that. I think I'm going into the 3rd year of being the music leader.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
It's pretty cool, man.
Do you draw from your it's like country and gospel, do you draw from that in your own solo stuff?
Sure. Yeah.
Very cool.
I find I catch myself all the time as I'm writing, something will come into my mind that I have sang in other songs that are like Christian songs, or
they can be Texas country too.
It can all be intertwined together, because it's all coming from the same place, ultimately. But as far as like songwriting, like from then to now, like the last probably 4 or 5 songs that I've written, I've been driving to work, and it's like somebody punches me in the side of the head, And then all of a sudden, by the time I get to work, there's a song written. And It's pretty cool.
Wow, I do not have that same problem.
Don't have that problem at all.
But it's not always. But when it during the season when it's happening, it's pretty often. So
I like to write, like novels, and I'm an aspiring novelist, and sometimes I'll sit in front of my computer and look at the computer screen, and I'll look up and 2 hours have passed and I haven't touched a key. I'm just sweating, trying to think.
You can't make yourself.
No.
Yeah, you got to
It
write
has
it.
to just
when
come-
it
yeah.
comes to you and you know it's good, you got to write it down.
That's
and
right.
That's a key.
And always write it down, because if you're like my memories,
I'll forget.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, my memory's the worst.
Describe it well too. Is my
Yeah.
my
I've got a
experience.
voice recording on here, and if I'm near a guitar, I'll go, I'll just grab it and throw down a real quick, just a
Get the
a
idea.
riff
Yeah.
of what I had an idea of, and
Right.
then, and then I have a note on here, and I'll just type up the lyrics that came across my mind, and that'll jar my memory back when I get a chance to get back to it. So
That's cool. You are, 37 now?
maybe 38.
Maybe 30. Yeah, it's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track when you get in your late 30s. But so it's safe to say that guitar and just music in general has consumed a large portion of your life.
Yeah.
And now you've got kiddos, and your kiddos are into music, and they're into
Man,
church,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so this is
It's cool, man.
this is not just a hobby. This is
It's
a
a
big,
life.
big
It's-
portion of your life.
It's our life, man.
Speaking of which, you're telling us about your guitar. Fill us in on that.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
That was a good
Yeah,
story.
the story was great. I wish
I'll
we
tell
had
you this-
recorded earlier.
Yeah, I'll tell
Sorry,
you
you
the
gotta
story.
tell it again.
Yeah, no, it's cool because it's, I always, when I get these, I work on guitars and I build electronics and pickups and things like that. And I get all these people bring these guitars in, and I always want to know their story because, it's really interesting to me. And so I'll start kind of back. I've been married for 18 years, I think. And I'm happily married, my wife, Chandra, and her father, Darvin, has always told me about this one guitar.
What kind of guitar was it?
It is a Gibson small, all he would say was it's a Gibson small-bodied acoustic guitar. And so I'd go, okay, well, there's a few different types, So for the last, I don't know, 18 years, or longer, because we were together for 20, or, we've been together for 20, 21 years, something like that. High school sweethearts. So we've been together always.
Shout
we grew
out
up
to
together.
that. Wow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is.
Well done.
I'm proud of it, We
Absolutely.
went through some stuff, especially when I was playing out in my early mid-20s, and we got through that, and then it's been awesome ever since, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm excited to be able to say that. I'm proud to be able to say that, we stuck it out, because most people don't.
No,
Yeah, you should be
absolutely.
proud, man.
In this
But
age.
marriage takes work.
Yeah,
Takes
Yeah,
work
man,
from both of
it's
you.
been work, and probably more on her part than mine, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. But we have three awesome kids. Dylan's he's 15. He's going to be 16 in February. So we're getting ready, starting to look for a car
Got
for
to start
him. but-
driving.
yeah,
But,
I thought it was my easy way to get a new truck, because I was like, I just give him my truck, get a new truck, and that's not going to happen. So but-
Anyway, though, we got sidetracked.
So, okay,
going back to
the guitar. Okay, so this guitar, Darwin's been telling me about it for at least 18 or 20 years. He's had this small-bodied Gibson guitar that was his grandpa's guitar, Grandpa Flanagan. And
What's Grandpa's Flanagan's full name?
You had to ask the hard-hitting question.
Yeah.
we'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So Grandpa Flanagan had this old guitar, and whenever they were all kids, one of the kids fell. It was leaned up against the couch, and one of the kids fell into this guitar, and it cracked it right underneath the pick guard. And he always told me that. And he always told me about that crack in it. And so later on, after Grandpa Flanagan had passed away, he left Darvin this guitar in his will, assuming that Darvin was the only one that was musical, so he left him the guitar. Time goes on, and Darvin got married. And I don't know, 20 or maybe 15 years. No, it probably wasn't that. I don't know how long. But he he wound up getting a divorce, and in the divorce, she took the guitar. So,
Ouch.
yeah,
Don't take a man's guitar. You
Dude,
know?
That's like taking a
There's something
song.
about that. The
Yeah.
guitar itself has
Especially-
written a song.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guitar
So-
might have its own album to put out.
right,
I
yeah.
want to take
You
up
should
her
write a song
makeup
from the
case.
guitar's perspective.
There
That's a
you
good
go.
idea right
That's a
there. Let me
good
write
idea.
that down. No, I've got it
somebody's done
recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she took the guitar, and for probably the next, I don't know, 20 years, he's looked for this guitar. Probably not beating down doors or nothing like that, but just asking,
kept his eye out.
Keeping an eye out for
wondering
it.
where it's at. And she's always said, I don't have it anymore. And so time passes, and this year in February, a guy, I don't know if I should, Darren.
Yeah, you don't have to mention any
But
names.
but a guy contacted me and asked me if I would fix this old guitar he had so that he could give it to his father-in-law. And so I said, bring it by. He brought it by, and he walked in with this old alligator case. And as soon as I saw the alligator case, I knew what it was. I didn't know it was that guitar, but I knew it was one of those
Something
guitars.
special,
Right.
yeah.
One of those old
Family heirloom type.
mid-century Gibsons. And so I opened the case up, and the guitar was so dusty. There was no strings on it. All the bracing had fell out of it, and it was so dusty you couldn't even see that it was a sunburst. And I go, man, I want to know the history of this guitar. What happened? That's kind of how I look at guitars for some reason. Just that's what I'm into. So that's
Sure.
So anyway,
It's got the wear marks and everything. It's got
man. So I'm joking around with him. I'm going, I don't think you should give this guitar to your father-in-law. I think you need to sell it to me, because I want all guitars.
Sure.
I want all of them.
Sure.
So
I don't think you heard me. I want all of them.
at least all of the, all of the good ones. I was joking with him, but I really wasn't, So I think the next day or the following, in the next 2 days, I texted him and made him my offer on the guitar. And he said, are you serious? I'll come get the money right now. And I said, come on, come get it. So he came and picked up the money. And
Put a little TLC into it.
I took the back off of it. The tuners, they would twist, like the buttons twist off in your hand because they were just that old Ivoroid stuff that, and that's what it does after 50 years.
Sure.
These will do the same thing in 50 years, but I won't care by then. So,
Yeah.
but Dylan can replace them. So I took the back off, and incredibly, all the bracing was there. It was in the case, but it was all gone. It was out, other than that piece right there. And so I re-glued all the bracing, and I built this brace and put it back in, and it was like Christmas Eve.
Right.
Yeah, you just couldn't
Like-
wait to hear what it sounded like when you hit that first chord.
It just the waiting for the glue to dry on the bracing, it's just it's like, come on, man. So I strung it up, put these tuners on it, strung it up, and the neck was perfect on it. The bridge is not coming up, which is very incredible. Usually the bridge is the first thing. So, and I went. I was like, oh God, I'll never play another guitar again. And so that's okay. So.
Now
I keep
this
sidetracking. Hang on.
Can I sidetrack for
sure.
a sec? I've got
Okay.
a name for your guitar song.
Okay.
Getting played and tuned up.
Okay.
Getting played
All
and
right.
tuned up. Yeah.
Getting played and tuned up.
Yeah.
We'll mark that.
Just
Yeah,
mark that,
mark
write it
sure.
down.
Yeah,
Whoever
man.
it is that
It's
records
definitely
and edits
definitely
these things,
recorded,
mark
but I
that.
think that'd be a good.
Sure.
You can riff off that all day long. I'm sure.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
That's a good one.
Back to it. Sorry to interrupt.
The last part of this story, which really
This is the coolest part
drives
of
it
the
home, is my wife's brother Colton, Darvin's son, was getting married. It was maybe March or April or something like that. I don't really remember. It's first part of the year,
Earlier this year.
first quarter of the year, I think. And so I had finished fixing the guitar, and I walked into the church down there and for the what do you call it?
Ceremony.
The rehearsal.
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 Oh, so close.
Yeah, rehearsal. Okay,
Sure.
so I
Sure.
walk in and I pull this guitar out of the case, and I'm standing there holding it in the kitchen, and Darvin walks up and goes, where'd you get that guitar? And I'm like,
He could probably smell it.
I told him the story. I said he brought it down here and he told me this, and I made him an offer and he took it, and he goes, oh, his grandpa, she gave it to his grandpa and he got it from him, and now
So there's
came
his
back.
missing guitar, and it's found
and
its
this
way
he
back
was like
to you.
right there, that's crack. He was like, there's the crack, you know. I remember when they
That's
and,
cool.
and it made its way back into the family, and now it'll be back into the bloodline whenever I die. I'm
Yeah.
not the bloodline.
You're
but
not ready to
it's
hand it over
mine.
just yet.
It's mine until then.
Your,
But,
your will
uh,
says the guitar goes to Dylan.
yeah, so
Yeah,
Dylan will
that's it.
probably
That's
get
just
it, I'm
That's
sure.
That sounds like
Cool.
fate, man.
But it's a cool,
It's destined
you know,
to be in your family.
Sure.
Found
Well,
its way back,
I think
like Excalibur.
a first on the 12 o'clock siren. Let's see what it sounds like. I think Michael's got a song for us.
Okay.
I'll give the guitar my mic rather.
Yeah,
and,
we're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna
and
switch.
play us something.
I'm gonna play this song. If I can, I'm gonna just pull up the lyrics here because it's been a while. But this song I'm gonna attempt to do on the. I'm gonna attempt to do this song on the new album. But I didn't write it, you know. I may have helped on some of the music or whatever. But when I first met Ricky and James, man, they showed me this song, and this song was just awesome.
Cool.
And I'm gonna attempt it. I haven't really played it in several years. You know, I tinkered around with like the first verse earlier today, but I'll give it a try. You just let me know. You ready? Broken down in Mexico, not a peso to my name. I met a man in a cantina there, said he'd help me make a change. He handed me a note 45 in a canvas bag. Said there's a bank outside of town, son, I hope you make it back. I was face down in the streets of Matamoros. I was praying to God I'd never met that man, 'cause I'd rather be broken free than be face down dead in these Matamoros streets. They snatched me up and they drug me down for the whole downtown to see. This gringo in the strange land with these shackles up on my feet. I woke up the next morning, hell, it might have been the same damn day, with the sound of that lonely wind blowing through where I laid. I was face down in the streets of Matamoros. I was wishing I'd never met that man, 'cause I'd rather be broken free than be face down in these Matamoros streets. It was dark and I saw a light, a strange man coming my way. He slid the key in and opened up the door. Might be my last damn day. I can still hear my mama cry, calling out to my soul. You'll never make it home alive if you go down to Mexico. I was face down in the streets of Matamoros. I was praying to God
I never met that man, 'cause I'd rather be broken free than be face down dead in these Matamore streets.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll just quit now.
Yeah. That was good.
Kenneth and I had a time set up next week to jam, and I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that.
Man, that's good stuff, Michael.
That is really good stuff.
I didn't write
man.
that one, but
That's going to be it on the Michael Daugherty album, though.
Sure, yeah. And like I said, Ricky McAdams and James McAdams, they wrote that song or collaborated together. I'm not sure where the idea came from or any of that, but I know the first time I heard it, I was like, Jesus.
The
Yeah,
story,
that's cool,
a
man.
story
That's
of
a cool
struggle and
story
regret.
songs.
Yeah, and so
That's really cool.
I'm glad that they gave me the opportunity to be a part of that song, and they've got some crazy songs, man. I'm anxious to see what's next. You know,
That's
what
good
else
stuff.
they have.
So
And that'll be on the album?
I think
later
that one's
on,
gonna be
right?
there.
That'll be one of the later ones.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be on the LP, but maybe. I don't know.
There you
Okay.
go. So that's just a taste of what's to come if you keep up with Michael Daugherty's music.
Cool, and I think later on we're going to have a recorded version
Sure,
you're going to
yeah.
play?
Blackheart.
Not version of that, it's a different
That'll
song,
be
correct?
your first single that you're...
The first single is a song that myself and the other two guys that I just mentioned, we wrote this song in his front yard maybe 10 years ago, and it's called Blackheart, and I just finished the recording on it, and it's pretty good. I mean, I like it. It's pretty laid back, and I think it's going to be a good song. I think it's going to be I think it's got potential.
Now, to put out 10 to 12 songs, how often are you in the studio? How much time's that eating up?
As much as you can
All
be
of the
again.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I mean,
Now, studio time is not cheap time, so you need to
Yeah.
have something to say when you go in there, right?
right, yeah, you need to practice, and you need to be ready, and you need to know how to play with a click track or a metronome.
Ooh, I can't do that.
You can't walk in there and just try to record, because you got to remember that. And this is for all you musicians out there, because I had to learn. You know, if you just show up and think you're going to go in and be this awesome studio musician, you're not. You're mistaken. Doesn't matter how great of a guitar player you are. If you can't play in time, you're not any good.
Right.
So.
No, Jim and I, back when we were playing together, we recorded down at John David Kent Studios in Celeste, and I didn't know how to play with a click track or
Blackland Records?
Yeah, and he, bless his heart, he did as good as he could with what it was. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. Like, I've got miles to go, you know. So I think we'll end up playing out that probably towards the end of the show.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
we still got
cool,
some more
man.
talking to do. I want to hear about these. These are hand wound pickups that you make, right?
Is
Yeah,
this a
man.
side business of yours?
It's a
So
side
you do
business.
everything guitar. You play them, you collect them, you
Yeah.
work on them, you make parts for them.
I do. There was a
you do it all.
point in my playing in my mid-20s probably that I got tired of carrying my guitar to people to fix it. You know, because there's no guitar luthiers or techs in this area. You'd have to drive to Plano or Dallas or something, and I was just, it's always been an interest. Me and James used to tear guitars apart and, see what they're made
James
of.
actually brought one for you to take home with you, so and you came and did mine the other day. So.
Apparently, he's since retired.
Yeah, this was all in an elaborate scheme to get my guitar into Michael's hands.
He made a house call to my house.
It started
and worked
years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I picked up a $200 Mexican Strat from a pawn shop, and my first thought, actually, Jason was with me, and we were like, we got to get this to Michael.
Yeah, we both bought one that day with the intentions that Michael could make it
Yeah.
right for us. So
I keep hoping he can make it sound good, but I think some of that's on me.
It's going to sound good.
now we have a lot of, we're getting out to millions of people here. So
Sure, yeah.
do you mind picking up some extra work? Are you
No.
looking for that? Are you
As long as
busy,
you
or-
have patience.
Yeah.
Because, I have a full-time job too, and I think we all do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm,
So
I'm a construction manager, a building superintendent, and for 40 plus hours.
Yeah,
a week,
so you have a full time job and then another one
3
when you get
kids
home.
in sports or something,
Yeah,
and
always
then
something.
lots of things, other than that going on. We got 3 services at church
Sure.
a week, and I'm trying to record an album. And
Man, when do you find time to
sleep
to be so good at guitar? I'm mad at you. I have a lot of spare time and I'm terrible.
it's I don't know, osmosis. Because,
It's
but-
talent, man. It's call it what it is. It's God given
I
talent.
appreciate it, man, but I should be a lot further along than I am now. It's 20 a lot of years I've been playing.
Man, if it's fair, I've been listening to you play since back in high school days when you
As have I.
picking out Metallica songs, and it may sound a little unfair because you've always been talented to say that you've improved so drastically since the last time I heard you play. But man, you were good then, and you're even better now. Your voice is starting to kind of come into its own.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
I think if you've got a grain, I do not have a grain of talent when it comes to voice, but if you've got a little bit of talent, it's just like a muscle, and you got to work it out, Because I mean, the first time I heard you sing, I was like, it's pretty
Yeah.
good. Now it's good. It's
Yeah.
legitimately
So
good.
how much of singing is talent, and how much is just becoming comfortable with yourself?
You have to throw all of your
Insecurities,
embarrassment
sure.
and insecurities out the window.
Ugh.
And when you go to sing, you have to just say it doesn't matter, whatever anyone else thinks. And one of a good friend of mine, Tommy Simpson, when in my mid 20s when I was playing, he told me we were riding down the highway, and we were just singing, just me and him, just singing, just belting stuff out. And he goes, "Man, you have to reach down
From your diaphragm,
from your,
right?
from your lowest point and just let it go." And I went, "You're right," And so from that point, that's what I did, and I've been able to find notes that,
You didn't know you had?
shouldn't be able to.
Just
And
gotta let go of the insecurities.
I studied Chris Stapleton.
Don't start a podcast if you don't like the way your voice sounds.
No.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But I studied Chris Stapleton long before Chris Stapleton was anybody. I mean, he was always, with the Steel Drivers and the Johnson Brothers and those. And so that was an influence on me, and as far as vocally, in order to be able to reach those kind of notes, because that's kind of the way that I sing. I'm not by any means as good as he is, but
No, but you're a soulful
In the
singer.
same
There's a
kinda-
lot of blues in that.
yeah, and that's where I try to stay. I'm not one with a pretty vibrato voice. I don't have that.
Sure, who
but,
is?
But
Yeah.
I'll do my best. So I don't know.
When somebody asks me, how did you get over your crippling social anxiety? I'll just be like, karaoke. Michael
Yeah.
told me to let my insecurities
That's
go.
right, man. Yeah.
I do a podcast and I never listen to
Why do
it
you always-
because when I do, I cringe the whole time.
But you only sing tequila. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell us a little bit more about these hand wound pickups and
Okay, so guitar pickups.
you
They kind of
got tired of carrying your guitars to folks.
What is a
so-
pickup? I don't play guitar, so you guys got to tell me what
A
this
guitar
is.
pickup is,
This is for electric.
in a nutshell, for electric or in some instances acoustic. But a guitar pickup is a group of magnets with a coil of wire wrapped around it, and what it does is it picks up the vibrations off of the strings through the magnets and sends it through the coil of wire and out to the amplifier.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the short version.
Cool.
But
There are different groups of pickups, right? There's
Different.
humbuckers, there's single
there's
coil.
different types of pickups, lots of different types of pickups. There's different types of magnets, different types of wire. So you can you can play around and get lots of different types of tone.
Right.
And that's one thing that I like to do is try to build tone. Like you tell me what you're looking for, and then I say I know what to do.
Got it.
And so
Give us a couple examples of different kinds of tones. Warm or
different types of tone. For instance, like a 1959 Fender Stratocaster pickup is built with Alnico 5 magnets and heavy Formvar wire. So think about Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's the exact year pickups that he had in his guitar, and he had a very mid punch,
Yeah,
punchy
mid-heavy.
kind of mid-heavy type of sound. Okay. And that's what you're going to get with that set over there. That's a 1959 set. I build my reproduction pickups using the exact same methods that they used in the 50s and 60s, the same types of materials and everything. So
For those of you listening to the podcast, he was pointing to the pickups on the ping pong table.
yeah,
right
I think we
behind
should
us.
post some pictures
well,
of
yeah,
these
and-
pickups and
and
this guitar and
That's why I say that. We'll be posting these to the Facebook page so you can check out what he's talking about.
Sure. So then you think about like John Mayer. he doesn't have the same kind of tone as Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Sure.
He plays a lot of SRV, but or like Hendrix.
So everybody's sound is catered to their style and like a fingerprint.
Right. And keep in mind, 90% of this is in your hands. You
Sure.
know? It's you making this tone. It's
Right.
not me.
Right.
But I mean, it does play its part, and it will make it sound a little bit different. But there's a lot of things you can do on the amp. You can, you know, change your mix and your tones and all these things to get whatever you want. But if you want to really go into reproduction sound, I mean, I can do it for you. But say like John Mayer, it's same kind of pickups, Alnico 5, but wound with a different type of wire, a lot more wraps.
Personalized, I guess you
and
could
so that'll give you more of a compressed type of sound,
Sure.
so you can get more of that fat, you know, his sound.
Right.
But there's just a lot of different, and that's just in the Strat world. You know, those are just two
Sure.
examples
Sure.
in the Strat world.
Yeah,
You
we're
go
not even
to
talking about,
humbuckers and jazz masters and
Right.
bass pickups, and I mean, it's endless. You can
Sure.
do whatever you
Wow.
want to. And so how I got into that, though, is I wanted to build my own guitar brand. And then so I started to build my guitars, and I went, I'm going to have to buy pickups.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of started researching. And I figured out how to do it. So I built this, I got this old school Milwaukee drill, handheld. And I took apart this calculator, and I wired a reed switch into the equal sign, and I built a counter so I could reproduce the same amount of wraps every time. And so you just basically go 1 + 1, and then you attach this to the head of the drill, a magnet on the reed switch, and then go like this. And every time it goes around, it goes +1, +1, +1 on your. So your calculator's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so
He's also MacGyver.
Yeah, so this came out of necessity.
Is that what you did with your
and-
TI-83? Mine's still in my closet.
no, these
Wow.
were dollar store calculators, man.
Wow.
So, but you know, it's all stuff that's out there. You can Google and find out how to do that. It's not real hard. If you're handy with a soldering iron, you can do these kind of things.
Have you upgraded that Milwaukee drill and that calculator?
Yeah. a
So
couple
how many of
times.
these can you put out in, say, a year? Just
Man,
whatever's
there was-
asked for? I mean,
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
are you selling these in stores?
I've got. I'm selling in one store in Frisco.
Cool.
Frisco Music. Yeah. And but it's primarily just word of mouth now.
Sure.
There was a time I started off selling on eBay, and I sold them really cheap, and that was fine with me because I just wanted to get my name out there.
Sure.
At that point, I was, you know, somebody messaged me and they say, why are you selling these so cheap? And I say, so I can put out a lot out there and get my name out there. And so with time, you know, you just continue to raise your prices and get what you start getting what you need. And then later on in time, you're not building very many, but when you do build them, it's worth it.
Sure. Sure.
And so
What kind of feedback are you getting from those? From people who use them? They like them?
Yeah, I get.
Did they connect you with like YouTube videos or anything like that?
There's
you
a lot
get
of
to
YouTube
hear your
videos.
stuff.
Yeah, if you
Cool.
look up CMDaugherty Hand Wound Pickups or just CMDaugherty Pickups, they're out there.
Plug your stuff. What are you on? Facebook, YouTube? What's
I've
going
got
on?
a Facebook page, CMDaugherty Pickups, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube. Really, anything you need electronically, or even anything guitar in the guitar realm, just let me know. That's something that I've been doing for a really long time, and I can
cool.
help you out. And
I
if
never would have thought you could get into pickup
Yeah.
building, making,
That stuff
selling.
for you came out of necessities. And,
Yeah.
and you really did.
Yeah.
These are hand wound. You
These are
figured
for
out
real
a
hand-
process.
important-
Every inch of wire goes through my fingertips.
Yeah,
So-
two important messages here. Necessity is the mother of all creation,
Sure.
right?
That's
Sure.
right.
And if you have a good idea, write it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not mad
If
about
you stick to those two, you're going to do something cool.
I'm not mad about this at all, but CMDaugherty Hand Wound Pickups has 200 more likes than we do on the Facebook page.
I need to promote it a little bit. I
Yeah,
quit
it's,
promoting it because
Well,
They're
be
produced
promoting you this
better
week.
also.
How about that?
well, there
Yeah.
was like probably 1 year or a year and a half or so that's all I did. I actually had 2 employees, and we only build pickups. And
Oh, wow.
cool.
we were sending out maybe 75, 85 pickups a week
Oh, wow.
across the world. So
Wow.
just wherever. I mean, there were people, and it was all based off of starting on eBay and getting so many sales, you know, for $80 or $100 when these
Sure.
things are worth $200 or $300, you know. So, but But it might not have made money up front, but it got your return customer.
We get you,
and it got his friend. And
fan base too.
And so
customer base.
Now, all of my business comes off of those people. It's all word of mouth.
Well, if you have emails, you can be pumping your music out to their email list.
Yeah,
just wait till this podcast hits millions of ears out there.
Yeah, man, I'm ready, man.
Or 7, or whoever's listening.
We had, so we.
You have a built-in fan base, really.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Yeah, you get all of our moms and a couple of wives.
If they bought your pickups, they'll probably listen to your to your work.
Yeah,
cool. That'd be cool to. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
just to throw that out there with it.
We call that a pro gamer move.
Yeah.
Cross marketing there.
Everybody wins.
Cross promotionation.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, throw your card in that or your sample.
Well,
that was one of my next questions. Was 2019 music industry has changed completely. You're not recording to CD, or are you? Are you doing digital, the iTunes thing?
It's primarily digital. I get a CD from them just for me to listen to in the truck as a demo, just for me. But if somebody wants a CD, I can obviously make one. But
sure.
But it's all digital, man. Nobody's listening to CDs or.
So are you focusing on the streaming or iTunes? I guess buying purchases on there.
Yeah,
I guess that's just music today, right? Streaming stuff. I mean, the hard copies are kind of going away.
No, I think if you sell like 20,000 physical copies, that's huge. Right?
Yeah, you get like $5 off of that.
Yeah, it's not where you want to be these days.
Yeah. So. I think it's hard to make money at it,
But that's not right. Why you're doing this, right?
But I'm definitely this time, not trying to make. I don't.
It'd be great if it went that way.
If I can make some money, that's cool. But that's
pay back
not,
some of that studio time and this and that.
But it's more about just getting the music out there and that's my passion in life is just playing music.
Sure.
One of the top young rising musicians here in Fannin County. We had the top young rising artist in Fannin County.
Man, we did.
Jim's awesome, man. Jim's been he's been an inspiration to me for my whole life, man. I used to go hang out in the in the barn in the back and
the boom boom room.
Yeah.
The boom boom room.
We had some good times back there.
That's where I that I used to. I didn't really have anywhere else to play, so when I did get to jam a little bit, that's where it was at.
Yeah.
And so
it was always open to anybody with a guitar or an instrument.
And I live literally, a half a mile away from there now, so every time I drive by, I look back there.
I still do it, actually. I'll drive by there and see if anybody's out there hanging out.
Yeah, I still drive by there in hopes that I'll see somebody waving me in, man.
Maybe I'll see a bunch of 95 Chevy single cab trucks or something.
Oh, man. I
good times.
Those. With the step side.
Good times.
I mean, y'all had that truck, didn't you? Me and Jason had the we had the Dakotas.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that's
that
right.
got me in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
Yeah, same. One time I got 3 tickets in one day.
One time I raced you 3 times in one night.
Who won?
I don't remember.
Yours was an automatic and mine was a standard.
They were almost identical, both little tiny
same.
trucks with V8s. And, his was blue, mine was red. And
one didn't have a transformer sticker.
Yeah, we had to know whose was faster, man. It was the same motor and everything, so we did that a lot, and we probably shouldn't have, but yeah, that was Leonard, man.
It was fun, though.
Fun.
Yeah,
growing up in Leonard was
man.
lots of fun.
There was a strip out there. What was that? 15.
Yeah, let's not get into too much incriminating stuff, man.
No, I mean we were just cruising. It wasn't like,
if any police are listening, that was years and years ago.
Nah, they don't care.
In Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
In a
Mexico.
Controlled race environment.
He sang a song about it.
In
Matamoros.
Matamoros.
On the way to Matamoros. Cool, man.
That's how you ended up face down in Mexico.
In the streets. Yeah, I was trying to fix my truck.
We were talking about Jim. Jim's probably been an inspiration to all of us in one way or another.
Yeah, man.
But especially artistically, in what you do is art too, man. Music's art, and you. I remember back in art class in school, you're a pretty good artist too.
I used to draw, man.
Quite the drawer.
It was cool back then. And all my kids draw, man.
Really?
It was weird.
Yeah, I seen a piece that your daughter did, and it was
she's 6, and
she's shading stuff in, and it's
and then
pretty
she gets
impressive.
done and cries because it's not perfect, and I'm going, don't get that, please. I already have enough of that.
It's that OCD coming in.
Man. CDO.
She's
my wife's CDO, so it's it's got to be an alphabetical
order. Her biggest critic.
CDO.
No, but
that's okay. I'm dyslexic.
Matthew's lefty, and it's just all messed up.
Hey,
He's got his headphones on backwards again. Second time today.
Oh, is the wire supposed to be on the right?
It has a left
It
and a
doesn't
right.
really matter. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's
But
left-handed.
I corrected it for you.
and Left
Jeez.
ear dominant. Yeah, man. So you
Headphone
play
Nazi.
guitar, you work on guitars, you collect guitars. You teach guitars because you've taught me some stuff. You taught my brother. You probably showed James some tricks.
Have you ever eaten a guitar?
Man, if I thought about it,
No, where I was going is, let's say hypothetically, if you could only have one, what would it be? Collecting, working on,
Well,
playing.
let's give it two. Well, oh, sorry. I thought you were going to ask about.
if there was only one,
If you could only have one of
Man.
those things, is it playing guitar? Is it collecting guitars? Or is it working on guitars?
it wouldn't be collecting. I don't think.
That kind of goes hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy collecting and going to, it's kind of like, Jim talks about picking and doing those, and I like doing that, but I like going to look for guitars. I'll hit
Sure.
garage sales just seeing if somebody has a,
How many do you own?
maybe 30,
Oh man.
Wow.
Goodness.
maybe.
What's
Like me
your
and guns.
Hung
besides
up, boxed up.
besides this one? What is your most prized guitar?
Acoustic.
My most prized acoustic is my grandpa's guitar that I have.
What is that?
It's a Gibson Banner J45.
Man, check
But
these out.
it's one that I kind of retroed to be that.
Sure.
What?
It's something that he always wanted and he could never afford, and so when he passed away and I got the guitar, I made it to what he wanted.
Sure.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I'm never gonna sell it, and it's gonna hang on my wall, and I mean it's right there by my recliner.
Man, this
If you're
is
at the-
like Jim's story about his grandpa's pickup. It's,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You both make pickups.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's Matthew again with the dingers.
Yeah. Okay. So most prized electric.
Man. Well, I built that one. I'll show you guys later. But probably right now is a Strat that I call Pinky. That's a 1959. It's a reproduction that I made. I made it screw for screw. It's not a real 1959,
Sure.
but everything about it is 59.
Sure.
As far as the specifications. And something happens to me when I get that guitar in my hands, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Special bond between you two.
it
Feels
the music changes. Yeah,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool. But as far as the most universal guitar that I own is that one that I just finished. You probably saw pictures on it a while back of that Telecaster,
Mhm.
and I actually carved that guitar. It's a
Wow.
and it's really universal. So it has a Tele bridge pickup, a Strat center pickup, and then a humbucker like a Les Paul.
So you can play.
So you can do lots of different things with
Wow.
it. So that's my main guitar that I play just because of
The
I don't have to swap
versatility.
guitars,
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it and we want to get down, I'm going to get Pinky.
Sure. Sure.
So is there one on your list, a coveted guitar that you're always keeping an eye out for? What's top of your list that you don't have?
Any early Martin acoustic, obviously all the J45s.
Sure.
I really love Banner Gibsons, and just because they're beautiful and they sound really good when they're that old. New Gibsons, I'll go ahead and say new Gibsons straight out of Guitar Center or from the factory don't sound good to me. They're like a wine, I guess, a fine wine.
Yeah,
It takes them
sure.
a little while, but they will sound good. But it's not going to be today.
Yeah.
So, but
If,
Martins come straight out. Martins, Taylors are good, but I don't know. Oh, a prized, what I would want is a 1959 Les Paul.
Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So somebody going to look at a new acoustic guitar straight out of Guitar Center, would you direct them towards that Taylor or Martin if you're playing at that level?
If a what'd you say? A beginner?
Just somebody who's like, I'm pretty good. I want a nice high end guitar.
If you want a high end guitar,
Maybe stepping up to that next level of
Yeah.
guitar. You got your little $200 Squire or whatever.
Yeah.
So in that range, I would probably buy, I don't know, $1,000 Martin
Yeah.
or Taylor,
Sure.
and then
So if someone, let's just say someone is,
that's kind of without all the bells and whistles, but still the really good, Martin or
Tone
Taylor.
and- yeah.
Gibson's good too. Yamaha's good. They're all good, but
Sure.
something changes when you go up and you cross the $1,000 barrier.
Right.
And then the more money you spend after that, it's like binding and special little inlays, and it doesn't really change the tone so
Sure.
much. but they're cool. Like,
Right. Yeah, they got the
Yeah,
cool
sure.
factor. Yeah.
Like HD
Yeah, it's
28V
like a-
Martin. That's
Yeah.
that's prime
Like
time.
those over and under shotguns with the
Exactly.
Italian inlays
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gold triggers and all
Mhm.
that. Well, cool, man. Let's talk influences. You guys want to get into that for a second? Tell me your 3 influences. Who influenced you the most?
Man. Musically,
Yeah, to where you are now.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Which, real quick story. I never met my dad. When I found him, he had passed away 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And so I found out that I had 2 sisters and a brother in Virginia, and so my youngest sister, which I'm older than all of them, my youngest sister starts sending me all these pictures, and come to find out, my dad was good friends with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
She sent me all these pictures with him and Stevie, and she has all of his first T-shirts and all this stuff. So now thinking, that was one of my influences, it kind of makes sense, So
Sure.
Subconscious somehow.
yeah. So guitar wise, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Hendrix. I mean, they're kind of the same
Sure.
person to me. And then vocally, Chris Stapleton from the Steel Drivers. Not so much nowadays.
Sure.
He not anything against him, but I kind of quit following him. Once he kind of went Nashville, but still does good stuff. He's a bad man in
sure.
writing music. Listen to some of those Steel Driver songs, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know. There's always Metallica.
Always Metallica.
That was the first
Yeah.
love. That was my first love. Was Metallica.
James Hetfield and his down picking.
Yeah.
Just
No
that heavy.
alternate picking. Just
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's it for me. And then after that, it's just a mashup of everybody else.
Sure.
Very
Sure.
cool.
I honestly don't listen to a lot of music.
If you're playing all the time, you
I
probably
drive. Yeah, when I get in the truck to go to work, I drive in the quiet.
Put on listens
12
to the
o'clock
12 o'clock siren.
I listen to the 12 o'clock siren.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
really,
Listen to the 12
Yeah.
o'clock siren.
I really do, man. It's awesome, and I'm
Mhm.
excited that you guys started this thing, man. It's really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we
we
get to do
appreciate
stuff
it.
like this.
been
We
a lot
get
of
to
fun.
have
Absolutely.
friends on
It's I have a lot of laughs and a lot of knowledge gained, like the stuff with Hannah, and
Yeah.
I was like, I had
Just
no
small,
idea.
small things that you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
This is a lot of fun.
yeah,
like man,
we're enjoying it.
I know where I'm going.
It seems like once we started this and started talking about, we had a small list of people we wanted. It seems like now everyone is interesting, and we want to get everybody on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Because no matter who you are, what you've done, you've got cool stories.
Yeah,
Whoever you
absolutely.
are.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you when the last time you were on stage was.
Outside of church.
This morning.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
The last time I was on stage, I don't know, man. It probably let me see. It might have been 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Might have
Do you
been
have any
12 years
Do you have
ago.
any plans to take it that way?
If I ever
With what you're
start to play again, my goals are family first.
Right.
Okay, because
Right.
I definitely don't want to head down that road again because
Sure.
I'm
There
in
you
love
go.
with my family,
Yeah.
and
You see a lot of musicians running into that with.
it's
The struggles of
very. I mean, there's 2 roads. You
Yeah,
can
but you're a
definitely
little
go-
older now, and you know what your priorities
Sure.
are and what order they're in.
Got your wits
whereas
about you.
You
great
may
thing
not have.
The great thing now is you can put music
Yeah.
out and not necessarily promote it nonstop.
Yeah.
And just you're not relying on it for income. I'm sure.
No,
You can just put it out there and play what you want, and that's where you get a lot of the best
Yeah.
music is playing your
Yeah, and-
playing your.
and back
mind.
then, man, I used to try to lie to myself and say, "Well, I was going to make a couple of $100, but I would drink all of it up before
Yeah.
I was gone."
Right.
So it's like, and that's definitely not the case this time. I want to be smart about it, and I really and truly just want to put good music out there, and I'm not gonna miss my daughter's football game,
Sure.
because of
Sure.
some gig,
Right.
Your daughter
Right.
plays football?
She,
What position?
cheerleader.
Yeah, I mean, I think
But
not
we
putting a
do
lot of pressure on
and-
there, and if it catches fire, great, and then you can work around
Right.
it.
Yeah.
If it catches
Yeah.
fire, you can
Yeah.
do it.
Then you make the
Absolutely.
choices.
And it's something that me and Jason talked kind of in depth about the other day, and it really made me think. And he said that you can control it.
Right.
You can control what happens, and to be honest with you, it is a scary thing, you know, because I know where I've went before, and I definitely don't want to go that way again.
Sure.
And so I just want to put good music out there, and I know there's these awesome songs that people can relate to, and I just want to see what happens, you know.
Well, you definitely have a gift, and I think it'd be unfair if you didn't get these songs out and let some people hear them, man. It's question time.
It is.
I think so.
We're gonna do a couple questions and then maybe
Got
let
time
him.
for 5 questions?
Sure.
Then can you do one more after that? You guys want to hear another one?
Another song?
You want to do that on the?
We'll do.
Yeah, I thought we'll play it
We'll
out.
do your
Yeah.
recorded song to close it out.
Okay.
I
So
think
we'll
that'd be
do our random questions from the jar, and then
we're gonna
end
nix Dallas for the closeout.
End
today.
it with, and this
Okay.
is the
And
one
end
that,
it with Blackheart, I believe.
that's going to be your first single, and eventually on the LP and the album.
First single. Yep, that's right.
Cool. Okay, so let's get to these questions. Go ahead, James.
All right, I want to start it off with one I think we've asked every time. What is your first memory of Leonard? So you're born in Leonard, right?
I was born
You're a BIL.
and raised. That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is your first memory?
One of the first memories.
No. I
Okay.
said, what is the first?
Okay.
Yeah, go all the way back.
Yeah.
What's the first thing about
Well, I'm
Leonard?
having a hard time remembering what happened this morning, so
I know.
let me try to.
So first one that comes to mind.
The
then,
first
maybe I
one
should say.
that sticks out in my mind is
What was it preschool called?
going to the
Happy Times.
Happy Times. Oh, that jarred a memory. But
Yeah. Yeah.
my going to the Dairy Queen with my grandpa and
Awesome.
sitting in there.
Man.
Secondhand
Dairy Queen
smoke.
comes up a lot.
I went in there and everybody was smoking.
Yeah.
Everybody's smoking.
BC Dunman and
BC.
Yeah.
What's
and-
interesting about that is now nobody smokes in there, but they all got emphysema.
Yeah.
And I still go occasionally when I do go in there, I still see some of those people, and I
Yeah.
walk up to them and I go, "I remember you," and they look up at me and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm going, "I'm James Stanley's grandson," and they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I remember you."
That's
So,
crazy.
It's pretty neat. You
Yeah,
know,
I've lived
see
here
the-
my whole entire life, and I have to introduce myself to people I know all the time.
I know, and I don't remember. My memory's terrible, and I don't remember any names. But
That's a good thing, though. You're not notorious, you know.
Yeah.
You're not infamous.
All right, your turn, Jason.
All right, let's see what we got here. What is something that you used to think was cool but isn't cool anymore?
oh god,
Only playing Metallica? No.
used to think was cool.
Yeah, Matthew, what was your example?
Smoking?
Jinkos.
Jinkos. Yes.
Smoking? Yeah, there you
Smoking.
go. Oh, that's a
There you
good
go.
one.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
I mean, I started smoking primarily to just try to make my voice raspy. It worked.
Well, yeah.
But now I'm dying of cancer. No,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not. But yeah, I don't know.
There
I don't
you
know.
go.
That's a
fair.
good one.
That's a
Smoking's
good
a good one.
Go ahead, James.
All right.
It's number 3, right?
Outside of what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
what was the best and worst job you've ever had outside of what you're doing now?
The worst job that I ever had was working at the Glidden factory in Carrollton, where I ruined my back.
Because
all we did was
sound like the
We
worst
picked
job.
up paint all day, just like manually, just picking up 5
Paint's
gallons of
heavy,
bucket.
too.
Yeah.
And I wore a back brace the last 2 days of this week, or the last 2 days back,
Mm.
because I have a pinched nerve and 4 herniated discs because of that place.
You were working hard for that $10 an hour or
It
whatever.
sucked.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, Jason.
Um,
Too bad.
best place. Best place.
We didn't mention this, but you were in the military also, right?
I was in
True.
the United States Air Force.
What job did you have there?
I was a F-16 crew chief.
Cool.
Which,
really cool.
in the F-16 world, or in the crew chief world, that's kind of the all-around mechanic, right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Cool.
And I came out and went and got my AMP and went to work at L3 Raytheon.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And went into aircraft wiring, which kind of was, it kind of went back to back with the pickups, the electronics for guitars. So
Yeah.
it kind of made me a better
Sure.
guitar technician. So, but I don't know. I've always been in construction. I think probably my favorite was working with my 2 uncles, Leonard and David, and Monty. They're all just hilarious,
Yeah.
and they're
Just
really
good
cool to
times.
work for. Yeah, and so they taught me a lot, and they taught me how to. They taught me enough to get me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, and those are good guys to learn from.
And they're
man.
really
They
good, and
They do
they're-
quality work, too.
Sure.
All right.
Alrighty, so this is number 4, correct?
Yep.
What's the last gift you gave someone?
The gift of music today, the 12 o'clock siren.
You gave me some guitar strings the other day. I know that.
Yeah.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Probably was.
Yeah.
That's
All
very
right.
cool.
Well, here's one. This is a new one. I think.
Oh, I just wrote some new ones down.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This ought to stick out in your head, too, because it definitely does in mine. Worst public restroom you've ever been in.
On the job site
Oh,
where I
cool.
work,
Yeah.
just driving, sometimes you just need to stop and use it. And I think you guys were talking
Are we
about
back
the
to
other
porta potty talk?
Porta potty,
man, it came back.
people just lose their mind when they
just do that little bathroom bomb in the jar.
Our last 5 listeners are tuning off. They're like, man,
Back
I
again?
thought we were
You
done
notice
with this.
we always hit up the porta potty at the end of the show.
You just kind of like walk in with your nose plugged and just
Oh, man.
Yeah.
try to get
It's
done as
a
fast
war
as you
zone
can.
in there, man.
I hesitated writing that question, by the way.
No, that's a good
I
one.
really did hesitate.
I'm gonna guarantee you everybody answers it the same way.
I think it's a good
Porta
question.
potties.
So one that sticks out in my head was the arena in Shreveport.
Texas Stadium.
No, like the where they play like the Independence Bowl over there, or the Armed Forces Bowl in
Yeah.
Shreveport. And I walked into the bathroom, and it looked like maybe a gang fight had happened.
Well, I'll tell you the
You know?
nastiest one I can recall, and that's not that far from here. That's the White Rat Tractor Pool's men's room
Oh.
on the east side. It's like dirt floors. There's a trough in there as a urinal.
It's like a pin monkey down there,
you
like
have to
sorting it all
kinda-
out.
Yeah, you have to nose your way in between 4 or 5 guys, like
Drunk guys.
like a baby pig looking for a teat. And
I
there's
just-
2 stalls. They don't have doors.
They had
Someone's
service
in there
since
just.
the 80s.
Oh man, it's bad in there. It's really bad.
I just referenced the Texas Stadium, and you were at Summer Sanitarium in 2002.
Oh,
We were.
God.
We were.
Were y'all
Man.
were y'all
Me,
together?
you and Blake Francis.
Metallica.
Were y'all, okay, y'all
Korn.
were
Yeah.
together.
Power
Okay,
Man
I was there
5000.
with Jim, and my brother was actually
Yeah.
there, who was like 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But do you remember that show?
Dude.
Yeah,
My lord.
Everybody
James
started-
Hetfield was out because he hurt
Yeah,
himself
do
or
you
something. And
I've searched high and low for video footage of that show
when they
because
were throwing the seat
the
cushions.
seat cushions blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was insanity.
Yeah. It was cool.
that was a crazy.
But it was a very unique show to
It was.
see all the
Because
different.
those were all like bands that I was listening to at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was a
really
hot
cool.
a hot set list.
Did you go to the makeup show? Because I went back.
I sold my tickets.
See, we went back. They played with Corrosion of Conformity.
I think
Oh,
I had
man, I
left
love
for the Air
COC.
Force.
You had.
Yeah.
I think Blake and I were Blake and
Yeah.
I went back, and that was it.
Because I signed up in August, and then September 11th happened,
Yep.
and then I left in October.
Oh, wow.
Man, you were like, oh,
Was that right before 9/11?
I signed up before, and then September 11th happened, and I left October 15th.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a different Air Force. Let me tell you, I'm still in doing the guard thing,
Yeah.
and it's from 2000. You went in 02, I went in 03, and it's a different world now. It's really strange.
Yeah, I
So-
bet.
All that Metallica talk, I couldn't bring up that. That was an amazing show.
It was
I mean,
awesome,
probably
man.
one of the most unique shows.
Everybody
you'll
was
ever see.
jumping in with them and singing
God,
in
that's cool.
place of James.
Yeah, James
and
Hetfield was
cool.
sick and he was out. So
he hurt his
rather
back on a jet ski.
hurt his back. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Anyway, all the other lead singers of the band, System of a Down, Kid Rock.
You remember
Korn.
Lars? You remember Lars jumped in with Korn and played blind?
Yeah,
Messed it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then John came back out, or whoever it was at that time, I don't remember, and then jumped in and played Korn.
Yeah.
Played blind.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a cool show, man.
Yeah, when you were talking about the other singers, they played Master of Puppets, and they actually played Mastertarium, which is a medley of Master of Puppets and
Yeah.
Sanitarium, and it was System of a Down's guitarist and singer, and I remember Serge, the singer of System of a Down, reading lyrics
Yeah.
off of a notepad.
Yeah.
And it was just cool, man.
I remember when Korn
Screaming.
came out, they never raised up. They were just
Yeah,
their heads were almost touching the ground, like
Yeah.
their hair was dragging the ground, and they never looked up.
I know it.
I was
know.
going, oh my god, man!
That was my first concert.
I think it was
Korn
mine.
and Rob Zombie.
Was it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Me
that's a
and,
good one.
me and Jim went to Reunion Arena.
Nice. That's a good.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. And
I like
I
Korn.
woke
A lot
up
of
with a
people don't
neck
like-
injury the next day. It was like the hardest I've ever headbanged in my life. I was a 16-year-old just having a blast.
You know, as a couple of Metallica fans here, what's weird to think about is Robert Trujillo, the current bassist of Metallica, has been in Metallica longer than Jason Newsted was.
Oh,
But nobody-
that hurts my feelings a
Yeah,
little.
but
Wow.
everybody's like, well, you want
The new
Jason.
guy.
yeah, yeah,
Screw the new guy.
yeah. He's not the new guy that anymore. So, all right. Well,
very cool, man. We
You wanna-
appreciate you.
You want to set up that song? You
coming
can play
on.
it out.
Sure.
let's set it up. We're gonna,
This is once again Blackheart by Michael Daugherty of Leonard, Texas.
and we are getting it set up. This is kind of a new venture for us. So,
Yeah, just we're good. We're make sure we're set up on the Bluetooth and such.
Let me double check the Bluetooth real quick.
Yeah, just go back and look at that.
How
technology
does
make-
Bluetooth work?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're good.
I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know, but I remember Jim's dad doing stuff with Bluetooth a long
Oh,
time
yeah,
ago.
sure.
Mr. Mac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He's
was
a cool dude, man.
He
Yeah,
was
it's very
before his
cool.
time technologically.
We want to get him on here too.
You ready?
Yeah,
All right.
Here we go.
play her out.
She said she loved me, but her heart was black. Begged me to stay, but this time I ain't going back. She says she needs me, but I know it's a lie. We've been down this road way too many times. And if she thinks I'll be a loner, and if she thinks she's got a hex on me, the next time she needs someone to hold her, Lord, that next time it won't be me. She says I've changed, but what's killing me? That girl ain't nothing like the girl that she used to be. We spend so much time falling apart. Tell me, how can you love this man with your cold, cold black heart? And if she thinks I'll be a loner, if she thinks she's got a hex on me, the next time she needs someone to hold her, Lord, that next time it won't be me. Well, there was a time I